Hey everybody, welcome back to Tilt City here on the FSI DFS YouTube channel. I'm Alex Hooper, joined by my buddy Tom Stoss as always. And buddy, you're gonna lead things a little bit today because you did much better than me on Saturday.
Yeah, it's a pretty good day. I kind of set the flavor for the whole weekend. I am barely tilting about anything at all, honestly.
Oh yeah, I'm supposed to ask you the question. I'm not even doing my
Yeah,
job. See, you're even a better host than me at this point.
I got it. Don't worry, I got it.
So nothing's tilting you at all.
I am tilting just a little bit. Just that if I gotta look for something negative at all, it's no dime time today, which is where I'm gonna be at for GPPs. I love it. I love not throwing away too much on it, and it's the people's GPP, which it's here for the 99.9%, man. And I get why they didn't do it. I don't wake up half the time for Sunday lineups, so that's understandable.
That's a good tilt, though.
Yeah,
That's a solid tilt. Let's see. I mean, I could go the easier route and just say Spurs.
I don't want to always say Spurs because,
Right.
like I said last week, it's probably always going to be Spurs technically.
Evergreen tilt. Yeah, I don't know. DFS wise, it's kind of just my same thing. Like I'm barely missing,
Okay.
but like I don't think I'm the only person who's barely missing. Like just like I'm not gonna say I'm tilted because Liverpool didn't live up to their end of the didn't live
Right.
up to their end of the. All right, how about this? Here's one for you.
Yeah.
Trip and B, who has been on this show involuntarily before because we played each other so much in head-to-heads, made a very good point, although I wasn't sure about the delivery on Twitter. We were all tilting over Semi Ajayi's $2,600 red card, and Trip and B made the point that while it also took Ajayi off the field for a lot of us who had him, it also denied a clear scoring opportunity for Vidra. I don't know his first name. For Vidra from Burnley. I had him in about 100% of my GPP lineups just because it was cheap, which that's my fault. But
Okay.
if there's anything to tilt about, it's that. But otherwise, like I think I like made my money back or like lost just a little bit over the weekend playing nothing but GPPs, which is realistically for the way that I'm playing currently a pretty decent outcome.
Nice.
So
That
yeah,
handball was on a Vidra shot.
it
The
I didn't
professional
see it.
handball. Let me
Yeah,
let me
right, of course.
correct. Yeah.
I
Not
didn't
amateur.
see it. I
Okay.
didn't see it. I don't know what it did or did not do, but um, apparently it stopped Vidra from a clear path to goal, or at least like a
Ah.
shot.
Okay.
So, okay.
Okay.
So I'm going to dive into the weekend, starting with that. It didn't help anybody because, of course, nobody scored in that game where, you wouldn't expect anyone to score. But was there anything from this other than the handball, the professional handball, as you made clear?
Yeah. Please let's be clear about that one. There's
I
no
don't
amateurish going on there.
know. Westwood, no, Brownhill. Brownhill was the big one from this one. He was, I want to say he was mentioned on RotoWire
Definitely
as
was, yeah, because
a
that's I
cheap
wouldn't have
pivot.
thought about him without it.
Yeah, and he had a nice showing. Westwood did Westwood stuff. McNeil, not great.
Not so much McNeil. Well, I guess he did do McNeil stuff really,
Yeah,
and
right.
then he was wishy washy.
I was gonna say he pulled a Bowen, which
Yeah, same guy.
which yeah, it all comes together because like Bowen pulled a Bowen today, and again sending me to Tilt City. Anything in West Brom, Ajay, whatever. Bartley was good. Yeah, not really much from this game. I don't think it had a whole lot of DFS implications, especially not in cash. I'm not thinking in cash terms at this point.
Right.
But I mean, Pope had a nice day, but you had to pay up for Pope, so I don't
Yeah,
think there was
yeah.
much there.
It was a kind of a fun game in that like you were just like I can't believe that West Brom is one putting together an attack like ever, and they're doing it with 10 guys is incredible. If only they always played with 10 guys, maybe they wouldn't be in relegation form. But here we are.
Yeah, I was just surprised they didn't leak any goals, especially with 10 men. Like they're the league's worst team. That was the thing
Yeah,
for me. Like I definitely once I saw that red card come up, I was like, all right, I'm gonna get it now.
yeah,
And then
yeah,
it's Burnley. It's still Burnley.
yeah.
A Burnley looky likey. All right. The first Merseyside derby win for Everton at Anfield since 1999.
Wow. Congrats, guys.
Richarlison and Siggy, just who you thought it would be with J-Rod back in the lineup. I don't think you were playing either in cash. I don't know that you were playing James Rodriguez either. But you were probably playing a lot of guys from Liverpool. And Kabak, even cheaply owned, got his yellow card. Mane got a yellow card as well. Jones was a pretty decent cash play at 4,400. Pickford, I believe, was he the cheapest? He had to be the cheapest.
He was.
Yeah. Okay, so there's a cash play for you. He had a 18-point showing, if not more?
I think it might have been like 20 or something. Yeah, 22.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Guess who didn't pay down at goalie yesterday?
Oh, who'd you go with?
I went with a lot of Allison, and I went with a lot of Pope, which Pope was fine. And I had some Areola, which I think paid off. But
Areola was good too.
I don't know offhand. We talked a little bit about Robertson and how he's just been not worth paying up for 4 crosses. That's not horrible, but he's still pricey.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, you paid for him to do more than cover his salary,
right?
And he just did it, but it blocks off a lot of fun and a lot of salary elsewhere. So
gotcha.
Yeah, not my go-to move, but I did play him in cash and that worked out.
And TAA was perfect for cash, and I think he was in the winning GPPs as well. Fine. Neither goals from Mane or Salah. I don't know what their floors were like. I don't think Salah's was terribly high, and I think Mane's came down with the red card or the yellow card rather.
I was very briefly on the Thiago train for listening to RotoWay. I was like, yeah, I guess that could make sense. Yeah. And then thank God it didn't work out money-wise because I would have not been happy about that.
You're almost on him despite the fact that they spent pretty much the whole show, well, Jordan at least spent the whole show talking you off of him.
I guess it was near the beginning of when they were talking about it, and then it just sort of got shipped down after the whole process, and I was like, okay, he's just GPP then. He's just Liverpool stack. He's 3 stacks, and that's about it.
Yeah, right. Yep. Yeah, I think he found his way into a couple of mine, but he did exactly what you would think he would do. All right, the last one, speaking of doing exactly what you thought they would do, Sheffield did nothing, and Fulham found their way to a goal. For some reason, I thought this was an own goal, but of course it was Lookman, who was in fantastic form.
Sure is.
How did Zambo Anguissa get to 7.7 with a yellow card and no assist? 1 cross. Okay, so this was not a DFS thing. I was going to say, did I miss him? He had a tag. Yeah, he probably only put up about 5 to 7 points in DFS. So, all right, man.
He's in the 3,000s or something, right? So
yeah, he was 3.9 at most.
That could work. That could work out for you.
Hey, man, this handsome SOB. No crosses. I thought he had a decent day. I would have to look at mine. I swear I played him, but I swear he had a decent day without any crosses. I can't imagine how he got there. But anyway, not much yesterday. So I'll turn it over to you, buddy. I'll stop my share. If you want to pull up your lineups, I am going to crack a cold one and let you take it away.
Hell yeah, brother. All right, let's take a look, man. Because on Saturday, when I was feeling so good, I pulled in 7th and 8th for this for the dime time, and man, yeah, it was just really great throughout. Because I was sitting there watching Herrera just go up and up and up, and I'm like, oh wow, I kind of can't believe that this is working out. I mean, I had him in cash too, and I was worried because this is one of the ones where I wanted to get Lookman and Salah, and to get there was to have Ajayi, and boy was I oh no, because that was one of the earliest events in the game. I feel like on that one, but as the day went on, it started to really work out. This is where I got Lookman in instead of Mane and Salah, which there are a couple of those.
Mm-hmm. I have plenty of those, but you went to Brownhill. So
to Brownhill, yeah.
Do you remember? So this was the 5th lineup you built, so it was pretty early on in your thought process. So as you were working through this lineup, do you remember how you went through it? Do you remember who your first people were in and what you were changing from your other lineups off the top of your head?
I think if I remember correctly, I usually start off putting together the most cashy lineup I can, because I am doing it for cash. Mm-hmm. And then I'll just sort of throw a couple at the wall just to see what worked there. This might have been the one that I was looking to to go with that in mind, having those cashy guys and seeing where I could like break out from there. And I guess with all these expensive guys that you would figure would pull in points, that was the risky thing was going for Lookman and Salah together, which I guess was the move really. But I don't know. It was just I for some reason I thought Lookman was more risky. I don't know why. Because
I mean, he wasn't on Liverpool.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I guess that was enough to do it.
I mean, I didn't play Blender this week, but it sounded like he was going to go Lookman, Salah, and TAA.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's where he ended.
Yeah, it's kind of weird to think about now because this seems like a very safe lineup based on how they played out. I guess Pereira. I was sort of wishy-washy about Pereira too. I didn't know what Burnley we would see. I didn't know exactly where he was going to land. I think that was it. Is if how I could get to those two up top and have Pereira and TAA, and it was spend down everywhere, count on West Brom to come through with a lot of action, and this is how that worked out. Oh, and Pickford, of course, and have and Pickford have a super day and pull in 10 points with a couple of goals allowed and a loss.
I mean, you paid down at the spots. I mean, defender and keeper. I mean, you should probably pay down a keeper anyway. If you can pay down for a $2,500 defender, like, I don't know that anyone's going to judge you ever unless you're playing cash and there are two big fullbacks on the slate. Finding your way to Brownhill is definitely huge. And even, I mean, despite the fact that Salah was your highest paid player, the highest owned, and only took a 6.4, like, that's pretty spot on. The other thing too, you mentioned it being kind of some safer guys. I mean, there were 3 goals on the slate. You got one of them.
Yeah.
The other, we just went over it. It was Sigurdsson and Richarlison, which Sigurdsson, I believe, was a sub. So there were only 2 starter goals on the entire slate, and you got a clean sheet. I'm team no goals all the way. And that was the thing I was thinking about yesterday is, like, I'm normally team no goals, but I shifted this GPP thing after I had a good day in Champions League on Tuesday, and now I'm gunning for goals, and I didn't have the safety nets. So, and I just had a bunch of guys who were goal oriented and no goals. So you did the right thing.
I think in GPPs, that's what I'm thinking about usually is like, where are the random goals going to come from? Is Jesus going to pull in one? Is Rashford going to pull in one? Like, these guys are not necessarily cash guys. Let's see where I can make the difference in GPPs. But I don't always have in mind exactly how you do that with like low scoring games or goals from subs or something like, or the games don't go as expected. How do you like script for that on these GPPs?
So I do less scripting in classic. That's more like efficiency for me. But don't get me wrong, I do script. I script plenty. Like, you look at the slate and you're like, Burnley, West Brom, like maybe Burnley grabs a couple goals. So you figure in a range of outcomes there, and you're like, all right, I think 0-0 was plenty within the range of outcomes, but I was thinking more 1-0, 2-0 Burnley, or maybe 1-1, maybe 2-1. But if I was really scripting in my heart of hearts, I would have said 2-0 Burnley probably, and scripted for 1-0 because I'm not trying to stack Burnley. Maybe some. I had 20 lineups, some of them, and I know I did. I stacked Burnley a little bit. But then you look at Liverpool. Liverpool was hugely favored, so I didn't think that was going to be 5-0, but 2-3, 3-1. I expected Everton to score. And then Fulham, Sheffield, I would have said 0-0, 1-0. So then if I take a step back and I'm like, all right, so overall I see between, what did I say, like 2 to 6 goals.
Right.
Then I would start thinking about where they come from and which games they come from and scripting that way. And again, it's like stocks. Like, when you look at a slate, overall, you zoom out and you say, how much do I want of X team and X player?
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. I guess if you look at the slate as a whole and you think it could be a high scoring slate, then maybe you try to find some goals. But it would be tough to apply one philosophy to the entire slate. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, this is why I like Dime Time too, because you get 20 to just spread all over and see, like, you can run 10 out that are like like, you know, cash with a twist, like you did like a cashy one, which is like, because I feel like that's where the 0 0 0 1s, like that's where the cash really works in GPP is like, yeah, you just like, you gotta go for that one. Otherwise, it's guys that are bombing in crosses. There's guys that are doing sets.
Yeah.
And maybe you pick up the one if you're lucky, or you pick up the clean sheet from whoever. So yeah, you could spend the 10 doing those like those little tweak ones,
right.
And then you look at your stacks and your goals from wherever.
And I haven't been doing that. Like this weekend, I didn't do it at least. So, and I need to do a little bit more of that in this case, because even when you're winning GPPs, you're not catching every goal. I mean, like you got to come close and you got to get the floor guys right. But like to try and catch every goal, I think would be a fruitless activity for the most part. Like I don't
you're not
think
gonna get like, because I missed the timer on like 3 of them, so I did waste like 30 cents on Saturday. But like I might have got to an Everton one in the mix. I don't know that I would have picked up everything there. And then like even if that works out, like I'm probably not going to have the right mix of the guys, you know, elsewhere in that. It just depends on numbers at that point.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think what's important is to look at the entire slate again, like look at every player's price before you start building. I just jump in and start building because I already know who the guys are that I favor, and I need to not do that because you need to identify who the cheap pivots are or may be before you build, because then you can say, all right, well, if I can get this, then maybe these guys score goals and I have the floor points built in. I don't think you want to jump into it and be like, all right, 2-0.
Yeah,
1-0.
Yeah. Right.
So I think you need to just at least identify it and see how much of it you can get. And the thing that I notice in a lot of podcasts and sorts that I don't do enough is say this team is underpriced, or this team is priced where they should be, or this team is overpriced, because that's where you find the efficiencies. I mean, that's where you find, like, even if I think this is a 2-0 game, if I think this is a 1-0 game, but like I can't get to all of these guys, or I can get to all these guys and I think it's going to be 3-3. So maybe I find 16 different ways to build that one if I feel so strongly about it, or whatever you feel about the slate. But again, like we talked about it last time, it's those two things. It's like stocks and it's like parlay bets. And once you get a lay of the land, I think that's when you dive in. How about we look at your second lineup?
Yeah, we got to the theory there a little early. My bad on that.
Okay.
This one was funny because this was the same thing. It's just where I saw Mane over Salah, just to see if Mane was the one that knocked in the goal in that game. And since neither of them did, that was the difference, was their points.
That's funny. Out. It's funny to me though that it took you 10 more builds to go back and do that, because that's always the first thing I do when I play Salah or Mane. I make one with Salah and I make one with Mane. Like if you looked at mine, I'm sure they would be sequential. So it's just funny that it took so long. But
I think I got it. So I realized at some point that I needed to go through. I wanted to go through and just try that everywhere. See if Mane opened anything up. I don't think it did here, just because I was like locked in.
You didn't go anywhere else.
Yeah, right. And I didn't have to.
I bet that number 6 lineup is a lot like. So it's going to be the same thing with Salah and someone else changed out, I imagine.
Let's take a look. Oh, this is the ones where I tried to go for, I thought Fulham might have put in a couple more than just the one. So Loftus-Cheek, there he is, 12 points.
12, see? Yeah,
that's right.
Good. So shot on goal, 4 shots, 4 fouls drawn, 3 fouls conceded, 2 tackles, 25 passes, and 2 shots. I mean, he's active. And for, what was he, 4-6? He's getting to the point where he's about to be efficiently priced. I don't know how much longer I'm going to be like shoehorning him into lineups, but he's still getting there. But yeah, man.
Yeah, against them, against Sheffield, like that's and that's a great price for him.
I see this build though. Like this build makes sense to me when I look at it. You tried to grab some Fulham goals against a bad team. You tried to catch some of the Liverpool stuff. You got the floor. You got the cheap guy with clean sheet equity. You paid down a keeper, and you got Brownhill.
Yeah.
And that was a good call. He was cheap. He was probably inefficiently priced, although understandable for who it is. So like that build makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, this was one too where I had the extra money to get away from Ajayi if I could, which I guess technically helped me, but not as much as I would have thought.
I think I did that with I think 100% of my lineups were either Kabak or Ajayi at that spot.
Nice. Yeah. Let's see this one. This was a more little mix of Fulham and Liverpool to get in there. I thought I did, and Curtis Jones did. I guess he did okay for 4,400. Yeah,
It
that's
came off
something.
early too.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Yeah. And this is one where, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it just depends on like I kept going down to like 4,500 and below and seeing who was realistic that every day and of time, and of course I had to throw my boy Oleina in there.
I was going to say, he got there again.
Sure did. Yeah, and I forgot about him just because defender was so crowded up, and he's a little bit expensive for Lookman, Mane, Lookman, Salah, and Pereira, but Peter worked great.
Cool. Keep going.
Absolutely. This was.
So it was Loftus-Cheek in for.
There was just a lot of those guys 5,000, 4,500 and below that between Fulham, between Burnley and West Brom that like. They ended up all being productive. It was just a matter of what mix of them I had. I didn't know that they would all be productive. I thought that one or two would be, and then those were going to be the ones I would pull in. But yeah, it was just a combination of which ones I had, who else I had everywhere.
That's how you get to those. That's how you get to those days where like a lot of yours cash when there's not a lot of variance between lineups. Everybody does enough,
right?
But you come up short in a couple of ways. All right, I'm interested to see what your second build was. You were a lot higher on Fulham than me, and rightfully so. You listened to me after I kept saying attack Sheffield, and I did not do it, only for one lineup. So
come on, man. This was okay. So this was me trying to get Thiago and a Liverpool stack going. This is kind of weird because I don't remember doing it this way. I could have sworn I put together like 3 alternate cash lines, picked it out, and use one of those in the GPP, but I don't know.
Was your first one your cash lineup? Because that's right beneath it.
The first one, let me take a look. I'll just go to that because
we know a lot of the plays at this point, so you can move fast through them.
Yeah, I think this is somewhere like some tweaks, but this was one that I put together on like Friday before watching any videos.
That's pretty good lineup.
Yeah,
you have a lot of correlation there. You have you're playing J-Rod to score. You have Brownhill to assist. You have a mini Liverpool stack with the 2 guys that make sense and a cheap guy. You have correlation at defender and keeper, and then you have Pereira, who's just a great one-off floor guy. Like that's a solid cash lineup for sure. I bet that would have done pretty all right in a lot of cash games.
This I could have sworn it looked a lot messier than this. I must have like changed some things around to be a lot. I mean Brownhill. I'm certain I changed that because there's no way I would have had him without watching a video on it. But Jay Rodriguez was something I sort of had to like get myself off of at some point. But yeah, I think this was the kind of a little bit refined version of the one I did.
Like I don't know how many people would have had. I think Lookman was probably pretty decently owned, but I don't think Richarlison would have been. So depending on their ownership, like I bet that lineup cashes in cash, and they all make sense. I don't know about J-Rod for his price in cash, but the thought makes sense. He got a decent amount, and I think you would have flirted with the money line if that were like a cashy lineup. But
so let me just look real quick. Yeah, it would have been fine. This did better than my cash lineup. Than the one that I went with. So yeah, great.
Nice.
Along Liverpool. This was another Liverpool Fulham one, just with Vidra in case I pulled in the Vidra one. And then this is there's a later one. This is where I was switching Mane in for Salah. So this isn't gonna be the Salah one, but I'm sure it's down there somewhere. Or wait a minute. What did I do? Ben Mee. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I had higher hopes for him.
Going for that center back goal.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Yeah, 16th one. I think this is my – maybe I did play all 20. I don't know. I could have sworn I missed out on some.
Maybe I just didn't list. Oh, yeah. You have 18, 19.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I see it.
Yep. Oh, I think this is a – Who knows?
You're still cashing.
Yeah, right. These are all outperforming my cash one. Still, I think I pulled in I got 79.46 on my cash one and was in ninth place with that.
So like seeing this, I feel good. Seeing the trends in your lineup, I feel good. Like I can tell you've internalized a lot of the things that work,
mhm.
and you're seeing it kind of pan out. Like you very clearly identified that you liked Liverpool, you liked
Mhm.
Fulham, and then there were guys you got to from Burnley like Brownhill, and you paid down like the trends are there within your 20 lineups, and
Mhm.
you were right. You were right on Fulham. No one was right on Liverpool, like, but you were still cashed because no one was on a ton of Everton, and like you would have had to have had Richarlison.
Yeah,
I don't know what Dina did, but
he
so
did pretty well. I don't remember. I
I
don't
think
think
he
I got
actually
him
had
in
a nice
anywhere.
day.
Yeah,
I think he had a nice day, but like he wasn't a great spot to pay for, especially as a huge dog. So like low ownership, which is
right.
fine. Like if you miss on a game that everyone misses on, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, this is a lot of these are like thankful that come from Pickford. The Pickford like being the cheapest one and coming through at 22 points, it was a real make or break on this. I don't think. Yeah, I don't think if Liverpool scores one, I mean, and he comes up with like 10 points, probably half of these are not making anything.
That's true,
Maybe.
but you can't discount yourself because that happens to everybody.
I guess that's true. Yeah,
Like you,
I just been burned a lot by goalies, so I'm a little sensitive about that.
everyone has, and
That's
like
true.
if you are gonna win more often than not, you're gonna get the goalie right then every
Yeah,
other spot. Like I guarantee most are because of the goalie rather than like I got everyone at outfield but took a -2 at keeper just because the
yeah.
boost is so big. I'm probably very wrong on that, but ooh, double center back so you could get all right. So you got J Rod, Salah, and Lookman. You liked J Rod.
Yeah, I wanted to see where I could get him in because I did expect more from Burnley. I expected a goal from
Yeah.
Burnley. I didn't know.
So was there any reason you favored J Rod over Vidra?
Um,
You have some Vidra. I went with a
I,
lot of both for what it's
I,
worth.
I think I'm not sure how it actually works out. I thought I did more Vidra. I think I went back. I don't know. I went through at some point and saw where I could fit J Rod in. I wanted to see this game if this was like if he was the real deal, if he was a guy that you could count on in this time or and for these, and then or you couldn't, and Vidger's just better spend down, and it's a coin flip between the two. Um,
Do you find, because I do this and I know it's wrong and I still do it, do you find that you will pay up for the guy who is more expensive even if in your mind they are equal? Like I don't think J Rod is a better player than Vidra. He might be marginally, but as a DFS player, like one of them will score a goal, one of them won't. And I couldn't tell you, like if you had to tell me to guess 9 times out of 10, I would be wrong. So
yeah,
do you find that you will pay up for those guys just because they're more expensive? Or if you have 1,200 left in the lineup and you like your lineup, that you'll try to find someone more expensive, even if they're not necessarily better? Because I do it.
I think I will only do that for like Liverpool or something. Liverpool, City, one of those guys.
Makes sense.
Just because I down in the Burnley range, down in the range of these guys. This was really just like a what if scenario. Like what if he's the one that pulls it in? Where can I make that work? So I get that the goal of the slightly more expensive guy wherever and went Vidra, and I decided to see if I could get Rodriguez in, and it worked. I think the upper price guys who actually pull in 10 points usually, that's where I'll make that call because
Gotcha.
usually you can count on them, or
See,
if not that you count on them, you can count on everyone else counting on them too.
gotcha. Like if it were me, and maybe not that, maybe this lineup isn't the best uh, way to look at it because I mean you're double center backing, which I guess me isn't exactly a punt at 3,900, but like I don't think you were like I got to make sure I get Ben Mee in my lineup. Is that probably fair? Like you liked him, but you weren't trying to get him into the lineup.
Yeah, I thought he might be more just. This is one of the ones where it was I got to the 4,000 range and I was like, who could I get down there? I
Sure.
probably did this one with like Conor Gallagher somewhere at like
Yeah,
somewhere else,
I got
or
you.
if I had Vidra, I had like Conor Gallagher or something like that.
Got you. So it's not a like I'm not criticizing. I'm saying like
Sure.
in this case, if I built this lineup, what I would have done definitely is gone to J Rod, clicked him off, dropped down to Vidra, and tried to see what I could get up to from me, and probably like gone nowhere with it. But I would have tried to pay up elsewhere because I knew I could. So I almost am limiting what I'm doing in a way by moving off of a guy because he's more expensive and I can get a cheaper version of him and then kind of like blow a different area. Like I don't know that it's right or wrong. It's just something that I do. So I just wanted to see where you're at with that.
Next time I do one of these, I'll make notes on each one to see like where like because let me just see if like 6 was something any close to this.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
it's not.
Yeah.
Like I said,
Maja and me, or sorry, Maja and Loftus Cheek for me and J-Rod, right?
yeah, but I went up from J Rod. I've been thinking like if I try to go for savings there.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I don't know what order I was doing this in.
Jack Cork.
Yeah, I have no idea. I'll keep that in mind next time because like I said, I probably went from like I saw where I could get in Vidra, or I redid this later on with Vidra and did better.
I got
somewhere else.
What was that number 20? I want to see that one. Your last build.
Oh,
all right, there you go,
Bobby.
That's where you missed it. That's funny.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there.
No, I get it.
I might have been one where I lost it in the shuffle and didn't get to redo it.
Right, I thought that was the case. Are you able to look at the top lineup from this contest?
Yeah, let's take a look.
I'm just interested because you get some wild ones. Wow, see, Sully's pretty good actually. All right, so he had Richarlison. Okay. So yeah, so he said, "Screw Liverpool, I'm going to throw an Everton stack in there," and he won by 11 points. So you'll get that.
Okay.
16%, 13%. How is Jordan Pickford 6.5% owned? Okay, see, that looks like an advantage to me. That looks like an edge. Like, 6% of people in a GPP. I know it's 10 cents. So, I mean, that's where you're getting some newbies who may not know the ways of the game, but like 6.5% of people paid down for the cheapest goalie. That's wild.
I don't understand.
Is that real?
How that's possible? Yeah, because like there was so much. It was so clogged up at the top. Like, how do you like not get to goalie and like I can't spend 5,000. I can't spend over 5,000 on some guy. I have to go down to 4,000. Got to go down to 38. Like, how's that going to work? Do you say go to mine?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow, it's true. He really was 6.5% owned. That's wild.
I kind of don't get. Yeah, that's. We must have some real. I don't know. We have some real risk takers in there that are going for possibly every goalie. I don't know. I don't know how that worked out.
I mean, the first question when someone joins an FSI almost every time is like, how do you feel about this keeper? And Gators are like, who cares?
Yeah.
It's play the cheapest and move up if you can. And he says that on the videos now, but like at first, every time you get a comment on those previews, those old ones, if you look at them, it's always like, who do you like a keeper today? And it's like, no one.
So I don't like any of them. It's strictly professional.
Right. Yeah. I have to, so I'll take one. It's like a colonoscopy. But
like, we're not that old, are we?
I've been thinking about it a lot. I don't know.
You've been thinking about colonoscopies? That's cool.
Yeah, I've been thinking about how I need one.
Yeah, let's get rid of it. Let's live stream a colonoscopy, dude. We'll put together some lineups during that. That'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, dude. All right, live stream from the proctologist. Huh. Well, that's very interesting to know. I know there's a theory. Oh, I don't want to divulge the theory. Not that more people are watching us than Gator, but there is a theory.
If you want to reward them for getting this far in our show.
That's true. There is a theory abound that you can play cash lineups in these low stakes because the cashy guys will go under owned. But I mean, that didn't happen with TAA. TAA is also like one of the highlighted guys on Ultimate Team, and that's another thing that I always equate to these DFS soccer things. I assume a lot of these people play Ultimate Team, so I can see like, God, there was someone who should not have been highly owned recently. I don't know what slate it was, but he was a FIFA guy, a guy that like people spam online that they always have, and he was super highly owned, and everyone, I don't know if everyone was like, but I think it might have been Gator. It was like, why is this guy so highly owned? And my first thought was like, that dude's in FIFA. Everybody plays him. And I'm sure it's a bunch of like, I just assume there's a lot more overlap in that. Anyway.
Is it like a high pace guy or something like that everyone everyone loves to throw at you?
Yeah. Sure. That's all to do about nothing. Let's see. I mean, Lookman being 22% owned, that shows that there's some amount of thoughtfulness in these lineups. Who is another super cashy guy in this? Like TAA is the cash guy here, but Hamas, I wonder what Hamas's ownership was, but that's not like, that doesn't make sense within the scope of this. Like, keep an eye on that. Can you report back on that to me? Can you let me know like if there are any like really anomaly ownerships in these dime times?
Sure. Yeah. I'll keep an eye on that.
All right.
Yeah, because I'm really curious too. To see where that comes in. Then, now that you mentioned the Lookman thing is very weird because that's like a little bit more of a
yeah, he's not a household name.
Yeah, and yet people picked him up just fine. I don't know. Yeah, maybe people went up to who was like maybe people found space for Areola because they thought it was safer.
Wasn't I think Ramsdale was the next up.
Ramsdale, yeah.
No, Johnstone. Yeah. Johnstone.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Right. And I don't know how he worked out.
Maybe they thought there would be a lot of shots. I don't know.
Yeah. Like I might not go to Pickford. I was trying to stay away from as much as I could, but
you went to more than I did
to work. Yeah, it was the only way to get it to work, and I was like, he's gonna swat some shots away, I'm sure, at the very least, and he did that and then some. So
I'm like embarrassed that I didn't get to him at all. Like that was just dumb.
Yeah. In retrospect, yeah. Like no, I didn't.
It's not, but it's not just in retrospect. Like it's a thing that you're supposed to do, and I didn't do it like literally at all.
Okay, I can't fault you because I do this a lot. I get off that lowest guy a lot because I'm worried about him, and about half the time it's justified, but it doesn't really work out because the other guy I picked usually lets in goals anyway. So like whatever.
It's whatever. It's whatever you don't do. That's all it is.
Yeah.
All right. Do you want to move on to Sunday? Anything else you want to talk about Saturday? Nice job. Like.
Yeah. Thanks, man. No, I'm ready for the next time, baby. Let's do it.
All right, man. All right. You want to? All right. Let's. I guess we'll go back to Sofa then. We spent a lot of time on that, but it was worth it. It was well worth it because I'm glad we got to cover you and you got to speak more than me for once because I normally yammer on and it's also nice to see your success more than anything. All right. Leicester 2, Villa 1. My boy Harvey going wild. Madison came off early because of injury. That could have helped a little bit more, but I don't know how much of a difference it would have made given that it's James Madison and everyone knows to play him. I got a couple of Leicester stacks. I played those in my satellites. I still missed out very narrowly. Some of that was my own fault. Some of it was just other people being better. Bertrand Traore is a decent cash guy. El Ghazi is, I think we're off him at this point. Like we knew there would be a set share between Traore, Barkley, and El Ghazi, but El Ghazi is just off the pace and he's not getting the reps. So I think like maybe let's not do that. Depending on how long Jack's out. I know he's hurt, but I don't know how long he's out.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I wouldn't say cash for the time being. He's a GPP, yeah, like of course, but I'm not playing him in cash.
I don't know that there's anyone on Villa that I would play in cash other than Jack, unless Jack's in. That changes things, but they're bad without him. So like you might just like I might stack against them, to be honest. Yeah. Expect a little more out of this one. Sterling for Mahrez, the two guys who likely you're not pairing together in cash at all. I know I had a GPP that paired them, and then nothing. De Bruyne played 60 minutes like we thought. I know over at FSI we were pretty, not a hard fade, but pretty solid in thinking that we might fade him. And I know you and I talked about it this morning. Like we both debated going that Shaw, Madison, Fernandez, and just punt the rest of it. Pray to God Joel Linton plays.
That looked good for a little bit. We'll get to that, but Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I figured at least KDB would. Yeah, the 60. What he came off. Yeah, when was it?
60.
Oh, there. Yeah, 63. Yeah, right,
9 points or something.
Yeah, and that in midfield, it gets really crowded on days like today.
Both United, and then like if it's, can you imagine if Grealish would have played? Grealish, like those are the 4 best floors in the entire league.
Yeah,
and then
right, that's it.
Well, then TAA was yesterday. Yeah, so like that's the top 4 though.
Yeah,
Nothing
I
else.
hate days like that.
Yeah, I hear you. It's okay for GPP for me because then I just cycle them out.
Yeah, right.
I just pick my goal scorers and I cycle them out, and I go with Jamie Vardy and everything, or don't, because I don't. One of these days we got to do the Tilt City like all first team. And we can do good and bad, guys we like and guys we hate. And I know that front 3 is like easily going to be Werner, Vardy, Mahrez.
Yeah, that's a pretty solid. Yeah, those are the guys that I don't ever go to because I hate them. Yeah, they almost never. They're my hated team stack if it comes to that. Otherwise, I'm not touching them.
I'm the same way, but yesterday I woke up early enough for the early game. I played Werner, trash. Today I played Vardy in cash, trash. It's just that's the thing, is it's both sides of the coin with them. Like I cannot get them right for the life of me. At least like I luck into them every now and then. And then there's like Harvey Barnes, who's like I play him, he scores, but I don't always play him. I don't know how I'm like shooting 75% with him, but I love that guy. All right. Really quick, I didn't watch this one. Once Daniel James came into the lineup, once I saw him in that starting sheet, I actually tried to get off Joel Linton and get to him if I could, but I couldn't in a lot of places. So he's a good player, and he's still cheap. I don't know how long he's going to stay cheap. I don't know the next time he's going to play, but I like to play him when he is in and United is favored. So. And then, of course, Bruno got his bailout goal. He already had an assist. Harry Maguire got an assist. And then St. Maximin's back. I didn't realize Frazier got hurt. That's annoying.
Oh, no, it was that Joel Linton getting hurt.
Oh, Joel Linton got hurt.
Yeah, Frazier didn't start.
Frazier didn't start. Yeah, we were talking about Frazier.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, that was our big. So our big thing today is you wanted to play Gundo.
Yeah.
And I said...
There's a smarter choice there. Are you sure?
I said Frazier and Sterling doesn't sound better than Gundo, and who was the other one? I don't remember.
I don't remember who it was. Yeah, or maybe Cancelo was the mix or something like that.
He was disappointing today.
It did sound better. It made sense. It sounded better.
You said that.
Logically, of course I see why it makes sense, but I thought it would be very, very funny if Gundogan put in 2 goals. Yes. and Joel and just did whatever he did. And boy, like I see when the goal came in and it was Sterling, like we had talked about, I was just like, okay, it's still funny.
Yeah,
this is going to be a really funny game. Yeah, I said I win either way. It's funny. Little did I know that would be the only goal, and it's not nearly as funny as if they just kept going and it was somebody else. So kind of a disappointment. This is the only way I could lose if it was boring.
This is how you lose.
This is how I lose. 1-0.
Yes.
And I don't pick the guy that's a much smarter choice.
Our good buddy Bobby Whalen almost shipped the 10,000 to first GPP. He had his lineup was Mahrez captain, Sterling, Ederson, De Bruyne, Fernandinho, who had a nice day by a rating standpoint, and then Kieran Tierney, who put up 11.
Huh.
So if he would have captained Sterling, which I don't know if he would have been able to make the same lineup, I think he would have shipped it. But when he sent it to me, he looked at it. I think he was in 15th. Ederson got the clean sheet. He got the clean sheet, but enough people jumped him. I think if he would have had Diaz or Stones instead of Fernandinho, he would have won.
Okay, yeah.
So
hey, you'll get him next time, man.
He's good.
You're gonna win 10,000 one day.
Bob's a really good player. Bob only plays city slates. He's very good at golf, and he's very good at NBA.
Okay.
He's won a couple, and he's won a couple thousand on NFL as well. He's a good player and a hell of a dude. All right, so yeah, let's see what I did. I did a lot of Leicester. Again, I thought the whole Grealish is bad thing. I thought Arsenal would hold their own, which they did. and this was my best one. I got the St. Maximin goal against De Gea. I played St. Maximin because I wanted an okay floor, not because I thought De Gea would. I mean, 13 from him ain't bad, but no Harvey Barnes and this piece of trash.
He's priced like that though, so at least there's that. He's not 9,000 or something like that.
Right. Yeah. See, that's why I went to him. Like, he's not a horrible price.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is my full Leicester stack. Zinchenko did nice for me. Got the Bruno goal. Joe Linton was better than you need from what he was.
I was feeling good about him like once the halftime hit because I think him and Almiron were both. Actually, no, it was like 20 minutes in. They were sitting at like 5 points or something. I was like, oh wow, are these guys gonna keep going with us? And no, Joe Linton went down and then left, and Almiron was Almiron, and Almiron was Almiron in the sense that what you would expect out of him. So.
Yes, right. Newcastle was who we thought they were today.
Yeah.
So funny enough, here's more of a Leicester stack with a little dribbling of, and these change throughout the day, especially like this one once I got Madison and Barnes and Castagna and didn't have Vardy, and then when I grabbed the Sterling goal, like I was going for the win in this one. Although I don't know how I would have gotten there.
I can confirm now that I would have cashed if I would have went Sterling.
Oh, that's right.
I didn't know what the difference between him and Gundogan was, but it's like 12 points, and yeah, that's what I needed. See, it's funny again.
We did it.
We did it.
Way she goes. Yeah, so as you can see, like these are all in my first 7 builds out of 20. I went heavy on Leicester early in my GBPs. I favored them. I love Harvey Barnes. I got that right, 11%. Those are the ones that are at the top. Let's look at my bad ones.
Oof. Oh, these are okay. I thought you had a bunch in a row at the bottom. I didn't realize you went to only order. Like, oh, buddy.
At some point, it just starts separating them.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. See, I never pulled Fraser.
Ah.
Yeah, El Ghazi and Vardy.
Vardy.
Winners. Yeah. Once I had Vardy in all my tournament lineups, generally like I don't go for cash equity when I'm playing GBP. I want first place equity. So I'll go for guys who I think are going to be low owned once I've already taken a guy who put up a 3. So that's how I got there. Like if you look at my top lineups, you don't. Well, I guess the top one you did see Vardy. So egg on my face. Boydie. Let's take a look at his lineup.
What you got?
Yeah. So this makes sense. Like if you stacked United like you should have and got Harvey Barnes, like you were going to do all right. So I'm not surprised I didn't do, because I didn't do a whole lot of stacking, and I definitely didn't do. I think I had the one Rashford, Fernandez, Daniel James, but like, yeah, big stack. All 3 of those guys. Like you're still seeing Martial come up here. I'm surprised that Martial was featured in the top 3. No.
Huh.
Yeah, top 3. But like, it makes sense that he's there based on like, all right, we're going for United. But yeah. So like, if you went United, if you got Harvey Barnes, or if you got Sterling, if you got them both, like that was what you should have done. And I think most people, again, like smart. I know Saramek was like a full 5-man. Maybe even a 6-man United stack, and those cash, the $6 ones. So, I mean, that makes sense. We went through a lot of years, and this one's kind of easy, so I'm going to call it. I mean, there were 3 goals. There were not a lot of goals in the other games. Who was it for Villa again? Traore.
Oh, yeah. That was, I thought they were going to run away with that the second half there. They were looking pretty hot.
So, right. Yeah. So basically everyone who scored, like there were no surprises here. I think James is the biggest surprise.
Yeah.
St. Maximin. Like those were the guys like maybe you aren't getting to a whole lot, but like they were all good GPP plays. They were all guys who like if they didn't make sense in cash, they made sense in GPP. Those guys like to pivot on, and you got a lot of United stacks. And today made a lot more sense. And I was flying high early, but not enough United, even though I wasn't that high on City. So it was what it was. But hey, man, I'm happy for you. That was a really encouraging showing on Saturday. That's cool to see. So
yeah, Yeah, the whole weekend was pretty fun. Like today, I mean, I didn't throw too much money at it, so that helped.
That's been my Sundays lately too. Like I wake up on Sunday, I'm like, I don't. It's a lot of it is like, I'm like, I don't really have a great hold on this slate. Like I don't know. Like at least Saturday, I got Gators video, I got RotoWire, and then I can do my own studying.
Yeah.
Sundays, like Saturday nights, I'm not sitting on my computer lording over the next day's slate as much as maybe I should have. If I were playing bigger money, I would. But like Sundays, I've just been like laissez-faire.
Yeah, I mean that's the way to go. Yeah, I was very happy when I woke up on time to make the cutoff for lineups, but also the first thing I saw from you I think was just like Suchek bloody face.
Oh,
He had the Stone Cold bloody face going on. Love the guy, and he destroyed my Spurs.
Yeah.
So now I'm a Suchek man. I'm a full on Suchek man. I'm a hammer. I'm forever blowing bubbles. I love that. I love the bubbles. Top of the table. Here we go. We're gonna do it.
I was gonna say, if you're full-time West Ham, like maybe you'll actually get some European football next year.
Maybe that would be great, huh? Yeah, I was wondering if they're like the real deal for the top four. I think if they keep it up, they're looking good.
They're a bit clear of.
Where are they at?
Well, I have a lot of notifications right now.
They're pretty tight with Chelsea, but it's kind of tight around 5th to 8th.
Yeah,
5th to 7th.
Yeah, but they're 5 points clear of Liverpool, so at least like that 5th spot, like they could go to Europa. Europa for West Ham sounds like a great deal, especially if Jesse Lingard's going to be Super Saiyan for the rest of the year.
Oh, I'm so happy for him, man.
I legitimately am.
Good for him.
I am happy for him.
Yeah, Everton's got a game still to like. They're still a game back, but
game in hand.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you. So yeah, we'll see. I don't know. That's a fun spot. I mean, it seems like everybody else, besides maybe United, and I guess Leicester's in the mix too, but like just for rivalry's sake, I think everyone else has given up on chasing City. Seems like Liverpool certainly has.
Yeah, Klopp already conceded the title.
Yeah. Everyone else is just looking for their spots in Europe and just gonna let them go. I don't think, like I said, I don't think United is going to, because they're not gonna let if they can help it, but I don't think they can help it. I'm not sure anyone can. It's another City year.
That's fine by me. I'm just glad it's not Liverpool again.
Yeah. See, I don't know how you like. I guess Liverpool has the years and the exposure in America, but I feel like they're like two sides of the same coin.
It's because my brother.
That's true. All right.
De Bruyne. He was the first player that made me fall in love with the game. So I'll root for him for the end of time until the end of time. I like Raheem Sterling a lot. Also, like City fans don't annoy me. Like I don't know. I might know one City fan who drives me nuts, but like it's more of a personal thing outside. Okay. But like they're not even necessarily too. Yeah, no, that's a lie. They're annoying weather fandom, but like, yeah, I don't know. It's weird. I would expect City fans to be like really annoying because people who are just getting into the Premier League and glom onto the best team in the last decade, like generally those people are annoying.
Mm-hmm.
But I found that they're not. And like, you remember how annoying the Liverpool fans at the old Angle were? And
I guess if I'm thinking of that particularly, there's all the City people have either been okay or delightful, like that old guy who ruled.
Oh, yeah, right. Dr. Sam.
He rocked. I loved him. And all the Liverpool people would just sort of huddle up in their side of the bar and demand their own TV, and that was it. And put up their little scarf and like, get your own bar. What are you doing here?
Yeah, I didn't like their songs sucked.
Yeah,
that was another thing. I mean, they weren't as bad as the Chelsea fan. The one. We're just getting into the weeds here, but like
I hope he stays down and locked down forever. He should. If this ever opens up, I hope he never doesn't get the news. I don't want to see him.
Dude was the worst. But yeah, it's the coverage. Like I hate to be the media guy, but like there's only like really one American football media, and it's NBC, and their coverage is exhausting. Yeah. CBS does a great job. CBS doesn't favor anyone. They actually have a City guy on their set. That's fine. like I know a lot of Liverpool fans that I like. Gator's a Liverpool fan. We have two good buddies in our soccer circle back in Cleveland that are Liverpool fans. One of which just bought a bar that I told my brother to turn into a city bar. Jared's gonna be getting a call, but like I know Liverpool fans that I like, but like by and large, the overall like I'm tired of it. I know we went over this, so but that's how I can root for City. Josh, our buddy Josh, is a City fan, and he's hilarious about it because like he doesn't know how to pronounce Aguero's name. Like he glommed onto the classic Josh.
I know.
Let's just keep talking about
all the possible.
Right. Let's just keep talking about people
Perry,
only we know. Yeah, only the people that we know. This is great content.
This is 50-minute content for you. This is what you came for.
We're into the 50th minute. They're tired.
Yeah,
just sloshing the ball over the pitch.
I keep forgetting to say, like, at the beginning, because this is where people are going to pay attention to it. But like, I want to get comments going. I want people to say why I'm stupid in the comments. I want to fight. I want people to get personal down there, but no one's going to hear it now because we've already started talking about people from our hometown.
Right. They were like, oh, God, I'm out. If you're from Cleveland, when it opens back up, check out Iggy's in Lakewood.
I'll be there.
That's a proper Liverpool guy running a bar. So congrats to him.
Yeah.
That's a decent note to end on, I think. Like,
I got nothing else.
Legitimately happy moment. But all right, man.
I don't know if did we ever acknowledge that I was 100% right on my Super Bowl pick? Thomas Supremacy paid off again. Did we acknowledge that? Because Thomas Supremacy.
I don't know what we did.
Thomas excellence. Thomas's rule the world. Get used to it.
You'll have your day when Souček wins you a dime time.
Yeah. That'll be.
I will buy you a Thomas Souček kit the day that happens.
I was ready to do it today, so.
No, just do it.
Oh, no, I'll wait for a special time. I'll wait for that. Yeah.
All right.
That's a good idea.
I look forward to the day. You're getting ever closer. It was a solid showing. It was nice to see your screen for once, for sure, at the very least. So, all right, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. If you're still here, God bless you. You really don't want to concentrate on your work. You really don't want to. You're listening to us talking about
man.
Josh.
Don't listen to us. Yeah, don't talk to someone. Call someone up. Don't listen to us talking to you about who knows who.
Sound like my
some
mom.
Bar, some other bar.
This is how every conversation with my mom goes. She starts talking about some one-off person I like passed on the street one time. It's like their cousin. I'm like, I don't know, Mom.
So we're your mom. Congrats, we did it.
We got Mom to the podcast. It's not a podcast. That's a great way to end it. All right, thanks everybody. We'll see you next week.
Bye.